How gangs control Rikers Island behind bars. Opening hook. New York City's Rikers Island is one of the most notorious jails in America. But inside these walls, it's not always the guards who hold the power. It's the gangs. From deciding who eats, who sleeps where, and even who lives or dies. Gangs have turned Rikers into their own kingdom. But how exactly do they control it? And why can't the system stop them? The kingdom inside the island. Rikers Island is massive, spread across 400 acres, housing thousands of inmates every single day. But while the Department of Correction is supposed to maintain order, reality tells a different story. The real chain of command? It often starts with the gangs. Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, Trinitarios, these groups carve up the jail into territories like medieval warlords. Inside, every unit has a program, an unwritten set of rules enforced by gangs. Break those rules, and you'll face brutal consequences. For many inmates, survival isn't about following prison policy. It's about aligning with the right crew. How the gangs take over. Control starts small. Something as simple as deciding who controls the phone. In Rikers, phones are lifelines to family, to lawyers, to the outside world. But they're also prime real estate. Whoever controls the phone controls money, favors, and loyalty. Ex-inmate, if you wanted to use the phone, you had to pay, either with commissary, respect, or violence. Nothing was free. And once gangs control the phones, they move on to commissary trade. Food, cigarettes, and contraband become currency. With the guards stretched thin and often outnumbered, gangs enforce their own economy and, in many cases, their own justice. The role of the COs, correction officers. Here's the shocking part. Many officers are either overwhelmed, intimidated, or, in some cases, complicit. Some smuggle in contraband for some, ash. Others turn a blind eye, knowing a fragile balance keeps violence contained. After all, if one gang runs a dorm peacefully, it means fewer stabbings, fewer riots, but that peace comes at a price. By relying on gangs to self-regulate, the system essentially hands them the keys to power. It's like letting the wolves guard the sheep and pretending it's under control. Blood wars behind bars. When balance breaks, Rikers explodes. Gang rivalries erupt into wars that spill across cell blocks. A simple argument about phones, food, or territory can trigger days of violence. Weapons are everywhere, fashioned out of metal, plastic, even toothbrushes, sharpened to deadly points. In 2022 alone, stabbings and slashings at Rikers jumped to record highs, sometimes averaging one every single day. Inmates describe living with constant paranoia, never knowing if the guy walking behind you is about to strike. Ex-inmate voiceover. You don't sleep, you don't relax, you keep your back to the wall. If you're not in a gang, you're prey. And if you are, you're still a target. How gangs maintain power. So how do gangs keep control in such a chaotic place? The answer, fear, organization, and ruthless discipline. Each gang operates like a corporation. There are leaders known as OGs who call the shots, soldiers who carry out orders, and recruits who handle the dirty work. Orders can come from the inside or, shockingly, from members still running operations on the outside. Refuse an order and the punishment is swift, beatings, stabbings, even death. Obedience is enforced with blood, and the message spreads fast. Cross the gang, and you won't survive Rikers. He's waiting for phone calls that never come. Young men, some not even convicted, just awaiting trial, caught in the crossfire of gang politics. And correction officers, outnumbered, underpaid, and often traumatized, walking into a battlefield every shift. For many, Rikers isn't a place of rehabilitation. It's a crash course in gang life. What begins as a short jail stay can turn into a death sentence or a permanent bond to the gang world. Why can't it be stopped? Politicians promise reform. Lawsuits pile up. Watchdog groups demand closure of Rikers altogether. But the deeper truth is this. As long as overcrowding, understaffing, and corruption remain, gangs will thrive. The system is cracked wide open, and the gangs know it. On Rikers Island, justice doesn't come from the law. It comes from whoever holds the most power in the shadows